Hi everyone, it's Janine from It's Naturally Neen, and I wanted to talk today about my experience with taking a 1-year break from alcohol during my healing journey. So before, I would drink alcohol probably twice a week, Friday and Saturday, and it was always a party atmosphere vibe. I generally wasn't the type who would stick to just one or two. I would have quite a few, and there were many times where I was hazy with my memory about what happened or just straight up did not remember. Drinking was problematic for me, not necessarily because I was drinking all the time. I wasn't. I have a job. I am focused at work. I don't really drink during the week. But when I would go out, it would be all of my promises to myself would go out the window. If I had a set bedtime, forget it. If I said I was going to drink a certain amount, forget it. I was easily swayed to do things that I said I wasn't gonna do. And then in the morning, I would wake up and I would feel guilty, I'd feel ashamed, and also a bit scared because it's like, how did I get home last night? Who made sure I got home okay? Well, I certainly didn't. I wasn't checking on me. And I just realized that it wasn't aligning with my goals at the time. I was on a carnivore diet, I was in ketosis, and then I'm drowning myself in alcohol on the weekend, and it all just seemed a bit counterproductive. Now, do I think that everyone has to give up alcohol on their healing journey? Not necessarily, but I do personally believe that taking a break from alcohol can be amazing for almost everyone. So what that looks like for you is up to you. Now, it's been 1 year since I have had any alcohol, and I wanted to at least make it to a year. Maybe I'll continue it, maybe I won't. Honestly, I'm just honoring my intuition, but in this moment, I have no real desire to drink. That could change. I don't think we need to put ourselves in a box of like, I'm not drinking and I will never drink again unless that's what works for you. But here are the benefits that I got from a year of not drinking. And I would say it was actually pretty life-changing. The first thing is that eliminating alcohol created so much space in my life. So before, I would use drinking, going to parties, dinners, alcohol always involved, alcohol kind of always the center of that as my life. It was work, and then I would escape. On the weekends, I would go and drink, and that would be it. And I personally felt quite unfulfilled with that. So when I removed the option of drinking, it also removed quite a bit of those plans because I just didn't have an interest in being at the bar at midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. sober. I mean, it's quite a different vibe. And so as a result, I spent a lot more time with myself, which is actually what I really needed to unlock deeper levels of healing within myself. I would say before, when I was drinking, I was lost. When I spent more time alone, first of all, just having more space energetically in your calendar allows more synchronistic, more aligned people and events to come in. If you're always booked, like jam-packed, and you're doing the same thing over and over, there's not a lot of room for new things to come in. In sitting with myself, I actually, for the first time, began to realize what it is that I like and what it is that I don't like. When emotions would come up, I had space to feel them. Whereas before, it would be like, I'm so anxious, I'm on edge, like I just need a drink and just get me to Friday, and I can just, and then that would lead to over drinking. As I dealt with my emotions, I started to feel lighter. I experienced having more clarity, and this makes sense because alcohol does, it numbs you, and it dulls your field, and it does, at least temporarily, dull your light. It dulls your intuition. So without having that interference and that noise, I was more able to connect with myself and with God and my angels, and I just felt like my intuition was like popped up. Not a good snap, but you know what I mean. So aside from having space, I developed a whole nother level of accountability and self-integrity. When I was drinking, I would make promises to myself all the time and not keep them. Without alcohol, I was able to actually start doing what I said I would do. If I said I'm gonna start going to bed earlier, I actually did that. If I said, oh, I'm going to have 5 days of ketosis, I actually did that. If I said I wanna have earlier mornings and get up and see the sunrise because I know that's good for my circadian rhythm, I did that as well. And the more that I did that, the more I respected myself, the more I trusted myself. You know, before I was in a space of attracting men into my life who would say things and then not follow up. Their actions and words didn't align, they didn't match, and it would drive me crazy. I'm like, dude, if you say you're gonna make this plan with me, then keep it. But anytime that we have that going on in our environment, we have to turn the finger back around and look at us. And what was going on was I wasn't keeping my own promises to me. So if I don't keep my promises to me, then who the hell is? And so after that, I actually found myself attracting much more aligned friendships and relationships. I mean, this was probably the biggest thing that I got from drinking, really. The third thing is also huge. Not drinking forced me to build a life of my own. Before, I just literally went with the flow. If someone wanted to get dinner and drinks, that's what I did. If someone wanted to go to happy hour, that's what I did. I was on autopilot. But without that, with all the space that I mentioned, I had to find out, how do I want to fill this? What do I actually enjoy? And so I started working with a trainer and doing strength training. I started waking up and seeing sunrise and going for morning walks. I got really interested in all forms of detox, like the sauna and taking a hot bath with minerals or Epsom salts. I realized that I loved being outside in nature, going to the beach, going for swims, even swimming laps in a pool. All of these things filled my cup way more than alcohol ever did. And yes, I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of memories I had that involved alcohol, but I never felt like I knew myself during those times. And so after those moments of partying wore off, I just felt empty again. And that was a big problem. With the topic of building a life, I also started this business, I started this YouTube, I started an Instagram, and I know for a fact that if I didn't stop drinking, I would have never started this. It wouldn't have happened because I wasn't the person who I needed to be in order for this to happen. If you are thinking about not drinking or giving it a go, I would suggest that you put yourself in environments that make that possible for you, that make that easier for you. If your friends are drinking all the time and all they do is party, it is going to be exponentially harder for you to succeed at this. You may need to take a step back from them or only make plans with them during the day or for certain events that feel more comfortable for you. Find little things that you enjoy now and start incorporating them because that will make it a lot easier for you too. And like I said, it doesn't have to be forever. I think that having some space will allow you to pull in these really great benefits. And then so if you decide to go back to drinking, you're not the same person who was drinking before. You have new boundaries. You have new skills. You have a new level of accountability. And so I think at that point, your relationship to alcohol is changed, is different. And you can always try it and see if it fits. And if it doesn't have a place in your life anymore, that's okay too. But I can say with certainty that this year of sobriety was absolutely a life changer for me. And I would suggest a pause on alcohol for anyone going through a healing journey. If this resonated with you, please give me a like and click subscribe. I will be producing more content like this, so please stick around. I'm happy to have you.